ginormous guy. Set up this huge web on the bus. What are you doing? You can't live here. I'm getting ready to crawl under there. God, you're big. I'll give you some scale. Don't get me, spider. Dang it. I don't want to kill you, but you can't live here no more. This is going to make some of you very happy to see. I'm going to do my bus too, but we're going to get in here and clean all these parts up, the brakes, the hubs, all that area, everything that's nasty. We are going to power wash 3,500 psi with heat and melt all that nasty grease and oil off there.
I want to especially thank Capital City Window Cleaning, Zach and Norb Homes, for coming through on a minute's notice to help me out. This is gigantic, so thank you very much. Really appreciate it, guys. This is awesome, so thank you.
Yeah, they brought this out here for him this morning. He has one, but his is, he doesn't have the power out here to run it. His is electric, I assume. And
diesel and 220.
Oh yeah, 220.
And it's somewhere in a storage facility.
Oh.
In unknown condition. I've seen it though. It's still
it still exists.
Yes.
So yeah, this is going to help to melt all the grease and nasty oil off of everything, and save a lot of brake clean. We'll get it in on the engine too, and I'm going to go take it down now and get my stuff all worked out. Figure out my oil leak and clean it up. I started cleaning it by hand, and then I saw he rolled up with this morning, so a lot of you guys that have the OCD about dirty, oily, greasy things, you'll be excited. This thing's pretty badass. This thing adjusts the pressure right here, so if you turn it down or up, it leaks a little bit, and that shit's like 200 degrees coming out already. And you really gotta hold it with two hands, or you can't hold it. That's a lot of pressure. So I got everything pressure washed on here. Well, I'm still working a little bit more on the bottom side, but I found my coolant leak. It's the weep hole on my water pump. Even though you see it dripping down here, it's running down the side, coming out of there. So I just got on the phone with Luke over at US Coach. He's got it in stock, new, not remanned, and he's going to ship it out to me. It'll have the 2 gaskets. I assume it's going to have the O-ring in the back too. If not, that one's a new one, so it should last. But I got to get all the coolant drained out of here before I lose it all. Oil leak, I'm going to have to run the engine to find it, so I don't want to drain my coolant until I run the engine to try and find that leak. Hopefully if I rev it up a couple thousand RPM and let it run for about 5 minutes, I should be able to find it. But everything's getting pretty clean on here. It was pretty nasty. You know, that when you lose a gallon of oil in 200 miles, it leaves its mark. But it's looking good. Even cleaned up the pavement with the pressure washer too. This is a degreaser. You don't want to get this on your polished aluminum or your anodized aluminum either. You'll really eat it up. Well, even the last time I pressure washed Lenny with that Hotzi, he wasn't nearly as clean as his engine is right now. I really got up under there today, and the rear end's up off the ground, so I was able to get under it even better. So that by far is the cleanest he's been in a long time. I even forgot that these belts were green. That's pretty funny. So I'm gonna fire it up here. I checked the coolant. There's enough coolant in it. It's down to about right here in the tank. But that's enough to run it here a little bit, get it up to a couple thousand RPMs and see if I can find this damn oil leak. I see that the drain plug is actually leaking on it, but I don't think that's the gist of it. I think it's the oil pan and then something else. I don't know. It was really wet up under the blower and this way here, which the fan and the airflow and everything going down the road, that's why it's hard to tell what goes where, what came from where. I cleaned the radiator out real good. I even sprayed it with some of that Purple Power stuff first and let it sit on there for just a minute or two, not more than 2 minutes. And there was still some dirt and stuff coming off of it. But it came out pretty good. I do have more fins in that radiator that are getting eaten up, though. I noticed that. And I didn't put the pressure washer very close to the radiator because I didn't want to damage the fins. I held it about a foot away. But again, I'm real happy with the way that this cleaned up. I think it looks good. Hopefully we'll be able to find the oil leak. Of course, my Joe was here survived. That's awesome. I do know that the bottom of that governor is leaking. It's not a terrible leak, but I can fix it up a little bit better. That's what got broken a long time ago, and it's just JB welded back together. I got to get a new one of these for it, and this one's a little different than some of the others. So a lot of them are, the truck ones and stuff are all flipped the other way, the governor housing there. But I ordered the water pump from Luke at US Coach. I'm excited. That'll be here on Saturday. I'm going to drain the whole cooling system though, so I don't keep losing coolant, but I just got to run it here first. He's got cats out here, so I got make sure I got a big container with a lid on it. I don't want the cats getting into the antifreeze. That would really suck. I know he really cares for cats, and his wife does a thing where she goes around and helps people with cat food all over the, if they, elderly people and people that can't afford to have cats, but they really can't afford them. And she makes sure that they get food so the cats don't starve. That's a nice thing for his wife to do. But okay, just a few minutes. I'm gonna fire this thing up and try to find the oil leak. Well, that oil pan bolt is 3/4 of the way out. and I can see that the oil's been coming down, or it's dirty here on the pan. That's gonna be a good place to start. And then my drain plug is leaking a little bit. Hopefully there's not a hole there. Something's been brazed up. I wonder if that's where it's coming from. Son of a... I think it is coming from there. I think that's epoxy. It looks like braze, but I'm going to see if maybe it's coming from the pan itself and not the bolt. This whole thing's all been welded up around here a bunch of times. I'll get in here and look at that real close. And then I noticed the wetness under the blower. That's going to suck what it is. I can see it now that I'm under here. If I can get this camera to focus. So there's a gasket that goes on between the blower and the block, and the corner of it is torn apart right there and low. That is the oil return goes through there for the all the oil that goes through the gears drivetrain on the blower. It drains back through in that area right there. So there's quite a bit of oil flowing through there, and that's where that oil leak's coming from. That's where this here, that's where all this, that's probably the biggest mess that I have right now is that. I couldn't tell what it was. But that's got to be it. I think I can just loosen it a little bit and get some Permatex up in there for now, and then order the new gasket. Luke's probably got it, but I don't want to do that here in this parking lot. You know it's a bad day when you break the extractor off in the hole. I got all those bolt holes drilled out pretty close to the center on all of them. One of them I missed it by a little bit. But trying to get them out, and then the screw extractor just broke off in the hole. That thing wasn't budging. Hope that's warranted. So we're removing all the airbags now, and then we're going to prep the surfaces and get everything ready for tomorrow when the new parts come. This particular one is an older style, which I didn't catch. We're going to reuse these bolts. Luckily, I got them all off with no broken bolts. But see, these are like a square cut in there. That's the old style ring, as were the new ones. I don't even know what I did with it. They're rounded and recessed in there. I took a bag off already. I don't know where I put it. Anyways, yeah, we're getting there, and Bob, a viewer over there, he's hard at work. Digging into an airbag. George is working on airbags too?
Airbags as well, yes.
Yeah. Kelly's going to come film this in a second with all of us.
Well, where are you?
So I got those two off. Now if you want to go on the other side, we're going to go help Bob. He's got one he's fighting over there where the bolts are slipping.
Hi.
Alright, Bob, do you want me to come in the front side and try to hold it for you while you turn it?
Well, let me see what this does here. That worked for that one. Holds it down enough. I can put it.
Yeah. Did you get the hard one out of the bottom yet, or no?
It wasn't anything there.
Oh.
It was.
Bob's a Jeep guy too, so he brought his Jeep He tows that behind his 4106, and he's got a 6V92 TA in his 4106. So my bus, hopefully the oil leak is fixed. I haven't run it yet. I was waiting for that Permatex to dry. Don't hit your power steering line.
Yeah. Can I twist this head at all? Or it's got a...
I don't think it moves.
Gotcha.
You just gotta cut the nut. If you want to cut it straight up the middle, that's fine too. Lots of fingers.
Some more card. Yeah.
Hang on, it's wrapped around. Okay.
Just I don't want to get in your cord here.
You have a place to put it inside?
You're a good man.
Ow! Don't touch it.
Good night. That's my skin burning.
I saw the smoke.
35.
What? Because I'm laughing?
I said, did he pull a Scott?
Oh, yeah, he pulled the strap. It takes me about 3 seconds to forget that something's hot, typically. I'll shut the torch off, and 3 seconds later, I'll go to pick it up.
Problem with calluses, huh?
Yeah, the callus is the 2-second delay before you realize that it really hurts.
All right, she's out and under here.
All right. One more. Good job, George.
All right.
Hey, we're trying everything. So there's nuts that hold the back of these on. We've got all the nuts off, but the screws are actually threaded through these. These are in aluminum, and it's brass, and we're tearing them apart with a screwdriver with an impact. So we broke the linings away, which I'm assuming these are asbestos, so we were wetting them with water, so there's no particles in the air. So he's trying to heat it up now, and then we're going to rapidly cool it and see if we can get it out of there. Brass in aluminum. Yep, that's the grab way. Oh, it might be, it's either going to break off or it's going to come out. I think she's turning. I think it's twisting off.
Well,
no worse than we were a minute ago.
nope. So, Pat Strumpf, Grandpa, PT, good friend of mine from here in Jefferson City, great friend of mine. Took this home yesterday, this rear hub, and made us some tools in order to get it in the press and press the bearings out.
Races?
Or the bearing races, I'm sorry. And then to press them back in, he had this one laying around for this 552A, and then like this one, the 6320, he just had a piece that he got for us just right. That'll fit inside. And then one that does 3, removes 2 races one way and presses in a race another. So he's written on there. I'm going to darken that up a bit, but really appreciate him doing that. Without those, we'd be struggling.
Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of lip that sticks out of these when they're in there. It's and we probably can't stick one in there right now to show, but it's a very, very small amount. we didn't have any room to press anything to it. So now that he's made this, to actually just clear that, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of wear where you can see where it sits above, right there. So it's not much, and it's a skinny.
Yeah, the part that we had here, well, here you can see the line under the Y there. So that's all the lip that you had under the TY, that little line. And none of my regular seal installers or anything were exactly that size. So yeah, he made those for us, and that is going to be awesome. Thanks, Pat. Go ahead.
Right now the right rear hub is at a machine shop. The drum has been turned, and so we use these. We had to leave the bearing races in that hub attached to that drum so they could turn it, and it was 3 times, I think, the cost of what I was quoted, which it happens. It's fine.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
they quoted you $60.
And it's $220. I need it done, and so that's fine. And then they wouldn't go to the size I wanted by 1/8 of an inch, even though it was far below safety specs or throwaway specs. We argued for a bit that they turned it to where they wanted to turn it, and they were not putting it back in that machine to take out what I originally requested. So some things aren't worth the battle. So
yeah, because our linings that we bought are oversized linings.
Oversized, yes.
For 14 and 5/8.
Yeah. And he told me he's a fat 9/16. So now, what do you divide it by pi?
Yeah.
8? I don't know, but I'm not gonna.
Well, if the word fat's in it, I think pi goes with it.
Yeah. So
Bob's gonna show us his Jeep that he showed up in today.
there you go.
There you go. Fits like it was meant to.
5.3.
5.3.
5.3. Look at that.
So it's been pretty good.
What year is this?
Other than that, it's just kind of original. 82. Well, it's got the NV 4500 transmission.
It's got the good one. That's the good one. Awesome.
So I've got a 44 rear end, but I haven't had time or money to build it out, put discs in the rear, lockout hubs in the rear, so when I tow it, like right now I'm pulling the drive shaft and I tow it very far because I've wrecked a transfer case that doesn't lube when it's being pulled.
Yeah.
So anyway, it gets me. I've had it since 95, so I keep it in the garage. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Keep it in the garage. Yeah, look at that factory air, which I just now got going again. It was a limited model. You know, it had chrome, the Jeep style chrome. What do they call those things? The rims that they used. Yeah, the wagon wheel rims that used to have chrome rims. And you know, it's too bad I don't have all that. I don't have all that. Pretty low key. I don't have any lockers.
Thanks for coming out and helping us today, Bob.
Sure.
We got you dirty, greasy, sweaty.
Great fun.
I appreciate it.
Jeeps and buses. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Thank you, sir. Bob and I just met today.
Yeah.
I don't know Bob. And how far away did you come?
Two hours?
Well, it's Lee Summit, so I don't know, what, 100, 120?
Wow. 2 hours.
120 miles. Come help out stranger. Nice job.
That's awesome.
Well, I got all this information.
Yeah.
I pimped him for information the whole
Wait.
time.
I paid for the. Wait a minute.
I was working though.
Bob might owe me some money. I'm just kidding.
So this is the side of his other 4104. That's where a 2x4 went through it in the tornado. Just punctured it like a beer can. I call it a parts bus. He keeps laughing, saying, please don't call it a parts bus. He doesn't want to part it out. So that's why we're not taking anything off of it yet. It's gonna have a little issue when we go to put windshields back in it though, because something hit right in the inside right there real hard, and that's gonna have to get straightened back out. It can be done. See any oil drips. Okay, well that was a long, hot day today. Got a lot done. Got into my bus and had, found that extra issue with the coolant leak being the actual water pump. And now that I had the engine running tonight, it's leaking pretty good from that water pump. So I get that fixed. Ordered it from Luke. It'll be here Saturday. Special thanks to Bob for coming out and helping us today. Neither one of us know Bob. We never met Bob before. He's just a follower of the channel, and he drove 2 hours to get here to help us out. And he's a Jeep guy and a bus guy. He's got a 4106 with a 6V92 TA in it. Sounds like a really sweet bus. And he's been having a couple problems with it, and it was funny at the end. He was joking about pimping me for questions all day long. He's talking about his bus, but he's a great guy. He's had his bus for a long time. I think he said he got it in the 90s or something like that. But it was really fun to work with him. He helped us. We got those airbags off. Everything got cleaned on there today. The parts are going to start arriving tomorrow. We're going to have parts here on Friday and on Saturday. Some parts are coming UPS, some are coming priority mail, and some are coming UPS Saturday delivery. So lots of parts coming. A couple things at the end. We're still fighting with those the brake linings, getting them off the shoes there, because those have aluminum shoes, not steel, and the bolts actually thread. Normally it's just the bolt goes through there and there's a nut on the back side, but there's a nut on the back side, but then that brass screw is also threaded into the aluminum, and they're seized on there. So we're fighting that battle now, but we'll get them off. With the new ones won't be here till tomorrow. Disappointing that having that drum cost so much money. Probably could have got a new one for pretty close to the same money, maybe a little bit more, which we may still have to end up going that route. We'll see. I don't really know the oversized lining thing with that. We talked to Luke about that. That's what we had to buy because they didn't have a standard one. So we'll see how that does on there. Otherwise, his goal is right now he's not driving it anywhere. It's just to get it moved on the property here so that the building can be torn down. So we'll at least have the wheels back on it and everything. And if I got to come back and put different linings on it, we'll do that. It's not going to hurt anything having those on there if he's just moving around on the property. And again, he's not taking it for any trips for probably years, or a year at least. Everything today on my bus, I ran it for about 15 minutes at the end of the day here. Revved it up, ran it warmed it up. I didn't see a single oil drip coming off of it, so I think that the blower thing fixed it, and then the oil pan gasket, that one bolt on the back side, and then there's another one that's it's stripped out. It wasn't wanting to hold, but I took it out and permatexed it real good, and then put it back in there, and hopefully it'll get me till I get home. And then I'll drop that oil pan, replace the whole gasket anyways. While I'm at it, I'll put a helicoil in there. Somebody had tapped out 2 of the bolts in the oil pan already up to a larger size bolt. And instead of putting a helicoil in there, they're, I don't know what the thread size is, but they're 9/16 heads instead of 1/2 inch, whatever that is. And they actually did that in the block. In the block. So it'll take a little bit to figure that part out. And those particular ones are through bolts where there's oil on the back side of them. So they're the ones on the end, on the transmission side. That's where it's at. So anyways, I ordered the water pump from Luke. Everything's going good on this bus, so we're going to hit it in the morning again. Probably going to pressure wash my whole bus off if I get a chance to do that, just to get some more of that Burning Man crap off of it. And that is a really strong pressure washer. You have to hold that thing with 2 hands or it'll throw you around. That was kind of insane. So anyways, we could probably use more help tomorrow or even Saturday, possibly Sunday too. So if anybody in the central Missouri area, again, we're in Jefferson City, just don't show up though. Let me know. So send me a message. My phone number's on a whole bunch of the things, or you can text me or send me an email. That's fine. Or just post in this that let me know that you're coming, and I'll make sure you've got directions and know how to get here and all that. So, but yeah, if anybody else wants to come help, that's great. We'd love to meet you guys, and we could definitely put you to work. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you in another video tomorrow.